Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Nick, and in case this is the first video you're seeing of my channel, I'm a Navy veteran. I got out with an honorable discharge after 6 years of service. I currently attend State University New York Maritime as a first-year student and wanted to share information in case you're a veteran or coming up at the end of your active duty contract looking for information about the subject. So first, let's talk about what you're going to need. So when you get out of the military, your golden ticket for the rest of your life is going to be the DD-214. So make sure you have a paper, electronic copies of that at all times. Next, once you're ready to start applying to schools and all that, and you made the decision, you want to go to va.gov and get your COE. And once you apply for this, it's going to take up to 30 days to get it in the mail. And all this document is saying the VA on paper telling you have the GI Bill. It's going to tell you your percentage, how much you have, typically 36 months. So if you served your contract honorably, got out with no problems, you're going to have 100% nothing to worry about. So when you're waiting on this certificate in the mail, feel free to start applying for schools. You don't need the certificate in your hands to be accepted or to start school. For some reason, you find yourself in the situation where you got accepted to a school and you're about to start classes, but they still don't have your COE, that's perfectly fine. Most schools will make exceptions for you. They'll put a note on your files simply stating student is waiting for COE from the VA. Again, that's a school-on-school basis. If for some reason your school doesn't allow that, you will have to wait for the COE, so just keep that in mind. But I got accepted into this school as a transfer student without my new COE, and they were fine to work with me. So it just depends on your school. Speaking about schools, let's talk about VA reps. Most schools are going to have a dedicated staff member or a staff team dedicated to work with veteran students. These members are going to submit your class schedule to the VA. So the process goes like this. You get accepted into a school, you have your COE in hand, you give your COE to the VA, or to the VA representative at the school, and then you pick your schedule. Make sure you're a full-time student. This full-time status is 12 credits and at least one class in person to get the full BAH amount. Once you have this, the VA rep at your school is going to submit your schedule to the VA. The VA is going to look at your schedule, determine if you're a full-time student, and then issue you textbook allowances and housing allowances, and of course cover your tuition. So once it's all set, the VA is going to send you another letter. It's going to be an updated COE for that school and specifically. In that letter, they're going to tell you how much money is going to be awarded to you for housing allowance based on that school's zip code. So it's a very important document. Hold on to it so you know how much you're going to be getting throughout the semester. All right, so that was the general process for really any school you want to attend. So let's go ahead and shift our focus back to the Maritime Academy. So once you turn in all this paperwork, you're going to get some paperwork from the school before you can check into the school. This is going to contain mostly medical records. So you're going to need your history of vaccines. So what I did, I went back to my childhood doctor. And if you're not close to them, you can email them or call them. And I'm sure you get an electronic copy sent to you. But yeah, I picked up a copy of my vaccines they gave me as a kid. And I was still missing some vaccines that the school required. So what I did, I went to my CVS, got the vaccines. It was pretty cheap. Kept the receipts. They give you paperwork at the CVS or whoever you get the vaccines from. And I filled out the school's paperwork, and I included all my receipts from the new vaccines and my history of old vaccines, and it was fine. Good to go. Next, you're going to have a math placement exam. For the love of God, don't cheat on it. Cheating on this exam is the worst mistake you can do. If you cheat on this and pretend to be a lot smarter than you actually are, you're going to find yourself in a very difficult math class that you do not know anything they're talking about. So even if you don't know one question on it, that's fine. It's not a real grade. It's there to help you. So if you need to go to the most basic math class possible that they offer, that's fine. So go ahead, go back to the basics, relearn it from the ground up, and you'll be fine. There's no shame in taking the most basic math class possible. All right, so let's talk about daytime student and licensed students. All right, so let's make it clear. Maritime academies do offer licenses and college degrees. So you can attend a maritime academy and not get a license for the Merchant Marines. You can attend as a regular student or a daytime student and get a normal degree in business or whatever you want. It's going to be a normal college experience. But if you want a college degree and a licensed student and a license, you're going to be a licensed student. And for this, to be a member of the U.S. Merchant Marines, you had to belong in the Regiment of Cadets. So that's not a school thing they just made out of thin air. That's a real thing. It's a law. It's instructions that they have to follow. They have to make you a cadet. So the regiment offers two types of training. You can pursue an unlimited third mate license in deck, or an unlimited third assistant engineering or engine license. An unlimited license means you will be qualified to sail on any ship of any horsepower or tonnage. It's a very powerful license. So Nick, how do you get this license? Well, I'm glad you asked. So when you're in Maritime Academy pursuing a degree and a license, you're going to be taking two types of classes. Your first type of classes is your standard history, math, English, classes that count towards your degree. And then you're going to have U.S. Coast Guard classes. So these are still taught by staff at the school, but they've been trained and qualified by the Coast Guard to teach. So these classes are going to be Intro to Maritime Vessel Safety, or a swimming class to teach you all the survival swimming. So it's a bunch of other classes you have to take on the side of your regular college degree. So if you're a licensed student, I want you to think of this. There's two paths, right? One path is your college degree, and the other path is your license. And for these to be completed at the same time, it won't be an issue the first year, but just down the line. You want to finish both of these around the same time, because you don't want to finish your college degree and then you still have to go for another semester of Coast Guard classes to get your license, because that's another 6-8 months off your GI Bill. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure you finish both of them around the same semester. Obviously, it won't be an issue for your first year, but just keep that in mind as you move forward. So what's life like in a regiment as a veteran? So when you first show up day one, you won't need uniforms. You're going to be considered daytime student who's authorized to take Coast Guard classes, or STWC classes, right? So you're going to be walking around in civilian clothes. You won't have to go to formation or anything like that. And before your second semester, you're going to attend something called VDoc, or Veteran Indoc. It's only 3 days long, so it's a lot shorter than the regular Indoc for regular non-veteran students. And they're going to help you out with uniforms, do a PT test, and then that semester you're going to be wearing a uniform to and from classes and on the mess decks. You won't have to go to formation every day. You go to formation once a week, and you essentially don't have to deal with a lot of the bullshit that the regimented cadets come with, to be frank. So yeah, if you're watching this video thinking you have to go to Indoc, you don't have to do that. Do not worry about Indoc for your first semester. And also do not worry about uniforms. I know you've seen them online. If you've been doing research, they're about $3,000 or $4,000. You don't have to pay for them. So don't worry about it during your first semester, because one, you don't even need them. And two, when you do need them, they're going to bill it to the VA. So don't worry about paying that out of pocket. So yeah, that's about quality of life for your first semester. You're basically going to be a civilian student. You're going to probably be the only dude in Coast Guard classes wearing civilian clothes, because to go to those classes, you have to be a licensed student, which means you have to be in a regiment, but you're authorized to take them regardless if you're in a regiment or not, because you're a veteran. So now I want to talk to my Navy guys. I know some of you guys have deployments, 2, 3, 4 deployments. You could have thousands of hours of sea time, what have you. I had 2 deployments, and I had the required sea time to test for third mate. So does your sea time transfer? I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't. I've tried so many routes to get my sea time certified, but if you're off the ship and out of the Navy trying to get your sea time certified, it's not going to work. But don't worry, because every summer they take their training ship out. The school has a big training ship. If you look it up, I believe it's called the Empire State. And every summer, all the cadets get on it and sail it around for the summer, visiting other countries or down the coastline, what have you. And this is also an important part of the video. To do this, you're going to have your passport and your TWIC. Before I got out of the Navy, I got my TWIC because it was pretty easy to get, and I was like, why not? And I believe it does cost money to get. All they do is like a TSA background check, and you get it, and you can pick it up pretty quick, I think a couple weeks. And then to get a passport, you obviously should know the steps to get a passport. If you don't know, look it up. But yeah, so make sure you have your passport and TWIC, or make sure you have receipts of your application if you're waiting for them, okay? And I do believe that covers it for this video. It was a good introduction of the steps to apply to the school, what to expect on your day 1, and what to expect down the line. And thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions or comments specifically to the school, let me know. Or if you just have general questions about the whole application process to any school with the VA, let me know. I've attended 2 schools so far, so I've had my fair deal of bullshit with the VA. So I'll be happy to help you guys out if you have any questions. All right, man. Stay frosty.